a short video now that we would like for you to watch.
Wounded Warrior Abilities Ranch started from a dream that me and my father had a few years back. We had this dream that we wanted to show wounded vets like myself that you could still do the things that you know and love to do before you got injured. This dream started finally becoming a reality to me when the city of Pinellas Park approached me and said they had 10 acres and wanted my input on what to do there. We sat down in a meeting with them and decided that we're going to build a full-on recreational park that houses all types of adaptive sports. Today we're here for the second annual Live Ride. Last year was the very first one that we planned and it went very well. We decided to host it on my Alive Day. It was the day that I was injured and we want to really show people that your Alive Day shouldn't be something that you mourn, instead be something that you cherish. To me, this bike ride really symbolizes what our organization is all about. Because we've all been through some kind of adversity, but completing this ride really shows me and shows other wounded vets that you can accomplish whatever your heart desires. Last year, one of the greatest things about the ride, not only from the rider's perspective, from the general public as well, was incorporating the rides through the schools. And this year we ended up hitting almost every school in the Pinellas Park greater area. We started hearing all the kids chanting USA, 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 USA. A lot of people see a wounded vet like myself and they feel sorry or they feel bad. And none of us really want that. And this bike ride really shows what being a wounded vet's all about. Although you might have your struggles and go through your adversities, you're stronger than you actually know, and you can do things that most people can't do. When I see other wounded vets show up, it really makes me happy because it shows me that these guys are out there really trying to find their passion and what they want to do for the rest of their lives. And it also makes me happy when I see the general public support us because it shows me that the population really truly does love our veterans.
great privilege today to have Mike DeLancey with us. He is a wounded veteran. He was born in 1985, and I'm sure he's younger than 99 2/3% of the people in this church. He's a native of Pinellas Park and joined the United States Marine Corps 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines in 2004. Lance Corporal Mike completed tours of duty in Afghanistan and Iraq until his luck finally ran out on September 1st, 2006, during his second deployment in Haditha. Mike was shot by a sniper. The gunshot wound hit his 5th and 6th vertebrae. It shattered his 7th vertebrae, then hit his right shoulder nerve, peppering his right lung. In an instant, he was rendered paralyzed. Mike's military awards and decorations include the Purple Heart, Service Campaign Medals for Iraq and Afghanistan, and the NATO Medal. In 2015, in partnership with the City of Pinellas, he formed his own not-for-profit organization, the Wounded Warriors Ability Ranch. So Mike is going to tell all about it, and there are envelopes, several in each pew, and I hope we will be generous today to a very worthwhile cause. I think you're going to have to fill it and move it down and share them. There weren't enough for everybody. Mike?
First off, I'd like to say thank you all for having me here. It's my honor and appreciate it very much. I'll start just by saying a little bit about myself. I'm from the Bay Area. I grew up here. One of the reasons why I joined the Marine Corps is because I wanted to get out and see the world. I don't think I ever left Florida until I went to boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina. But I ended up, after boot camp, I was stationed with 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines out of Hawaii. When I got to the fleet, we were working up to do what they call the 31st MEU, which was a float around the Asia Pacific. Things kind of changed like they do every day in the Marine Corps, and they ended up activating us to go to Afghanistan in October of 2004. We were there from October of 2004 to June of 2005, then came back to Hawaii. My unit then redeployed March of 2006, and on that deployment on September 1st of 2006, we were on a dismounted foot patrol, and I was shot by a sniper. The round ended up going through my vertebrae and did a lot of damage internally, and I remember everything up until getting loaded on the helicopter and waking up in Bethesda, Maryland, which is right outside of D.C. I was grateful enough to have my friends and family around me, and honestly, the Lord works in really mysterious ways because I've been given more blessings being hurt than I would have ever had I not got hurt. After I was stable enough in the ICU and was stable enough to be transported, I ended up being given the option to do rehab in Tampa, Florida. And I was like, hey, that's right across the bay from my house. So I don't know if I really paid attention too much to rehab. I was more concerned about getting back home. But because of that, I had a lot of friends and family around me that sort of kicked me in the butt and told me, hey, you can still do the things you love to do. My buddy would sit in a wheelchair and play ping pong with me. My dad would shoot hoops with me from another wheelchair and show me that, life isn't over. There's a lot of things out there. And because of that strong family and friend support basis that I had around me when I first was injured, I started going back to the hospital and the rehab center. And around that time, guys and girls were coming in left and right. And I was just sort of mentoring them and showing them the same thing that I was showing myself. Hey, there's a lot to do out there. You're going to get paid disability. You're going to have a good life. You're going to be able to go on a boat. Don't get discouraged. You can still do all the things you love to do. You just have to adapt yourself a little bit. And because of that, I ended up working with a lot of other nonprofits and flying all around the nation. I even helped build a mission down in Haiti, which was pretty neat. So I've had a lot of good real-life experiences. But I was also getting a little burnt out. I missed being back home. And to be honest, I missed my dogs more than anything else. But that was the perfect time when the city of Pinellas Park sort of approached me and said, hey, we noticed you've been getting a lot of media attention. We have 10 acres of land that we've kind of been throwing around what to do with. We want your input. And that was around that time me and my father were kicking around the idea of starting our own nonprofit to kind of stay local and not travel as much. and it just was the perfect opportunity. So in June of 2015, we ended up starting our nonprofit, Wounded Warrior Abilities Ranch. With that, we decided with the city to make a fully wheelchair-accessible 10-acre recreational park. And not just accessible, but designed around the wheelchair user. Everything in mind is designed around this, so when these guys and girls in wheelchairs come out, they can see and not get discouraged, like, hey, this is designed for me. You know, the playground is wheelchair accessible. The walk trails are wider than normal, so you can get hand cycles down them. The basketball court, there's 2 of them. You can play all types of different sports on it. Our future headquarters building and Memorial Garden is all going to be completely accessible, and these are the things that we strive to do. The park is open to the public with partnership with the City of Pinellas Park, but our headquarters building is going to be veterans only. And that is what we've been striving to go. Our goal this year is to fundraise for. It's going to be close to $1 million building, and we're about nearly halfway there at this moment, and that is our main fundraising goal the next year and a half. Once that's done, I think that's really the last piece of the puzzle, and then we can just have a minimal budget and just continue operations. We're also doing a lot of stuff off-site. We're sponsoring wheelchair basketball, wheelchair rugby, and a wheelchair softball team this year. We're going to fly them to Louisville or Kansas City in August, and we're really starting to kick off our adaptive sports program now that phase 1 has been completed. That is sort of where we're at, and to be honest, there's a lot of great veteran organizations out there, and I can't be the master of everything. So I work with all other nonprofits. I want to make sure that they're good to go first, and then we work together and collaborate. And on that note, Wounded Warrior Project is a big national organization, and I've been their spokesman, and they've helped me a lot, but this is totally 100% separate. This is all the money goes into this park and our operations, and we're housed out of Pinellas Park, Florida. But thank you all for your time, and I really appreciate it, and I will be around after the sermon to answer any questions you may have. Thank you, and God bless.